It's showtime, folks. Welcome in, Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, The Game. It's Friday, and we're at a baseball park, First Horizon Park to be precise. Opening day for the Nashville Sounds. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier. Back in the studio, Sean Marks here, Robbie Stanley's here taking photos. What's up, JoJo?
So I started listening to my favorite radio show, Robbie and Rex Show, at about 6:30 this morning.
It's a great show.
Headed to the gym. Robbie kept talking about how beautiful it was. I was like, and I'm out in Hermitage, and it's not,
That's nice of him to say that about his wife.
It is, right?
Yeah.
So it's the sun really hadn't come. It was just different atmosphere out in Hermitage, and then I get here and I'm like, God, this is beautiful. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful today. Beautiful setup here at First Horizon. So just let you know, Robbie Stanley is the George Washington of radio hosts. He cannot tell a lie.
It's true.
It's beautiful.
It is so true. It is. And we're excited to be here today. All of our shows will be here at First Horizon for opening day. And the Sounds will take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp tonight with pregame at 6:20 and first pitch at 6:35 on 94.9 The Fan with the great, talented Jeff Hem back for another season. It's time for Nashville Sounds baseball. It was funny. A friend of mine asked me who the Sounds play last night. Last night they asked me this question, who they play tonight, and I said the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and they go, "You just made that up."
Well, it's the greatest redundant sports nickname of all time. I mean, Jumbo Shrimp.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
It's like being legally drunk. I mean, it's superfluous words that was it oxymoron? Superfluous words? I don't know. I didn't listen.
We're just morons. So I don't really know.
I cheated off of Robbie's aunt in high school in English. That's how I survived. And that is a true story.
I was about to say there's probably some truth to that.
Yep.
We have a stacked and packed show, or is it packed and stacked? For today. We'll talk some Preds at 9:30. Unfortunately, it is official. They are eliminated from playoff contention after last night. It looked like that the buzzer in the spirit of March that they had tied the game after blowing a lead, but the clock had expired. And, it was just last night was perfect example of this season. They play well for two periods, have a 2-0 lead. The wheels fall off in the third. St. Louis, ups it and brings the pressure. They take a 3-2 lead, and Nashville's unable to respond. So that was, pretty much an example of how it's gone all year long. And now they're officially done out of the playoffs. And so now you just kind of get to the end and see what happens after that with the offseason.
So here's my bone to pick. It's 3-2 last night. There's a minute and a half left to go. And Preds fans are asleep. By the way, and Robbie could attest to this, there were so many St. Louis Blues fans there last night that it was unbelievable. Look, as long as you spend money and a lot of money, we're good for right now.
Sure.
But people leave in a minute and a half to go, and I'm like, why are you leaving? You're already here. And then guy next to me is like, I'm out here. I can't take any more of this. I'm like, it's 3-2. Anything can happen. And the last, I think it was 13 seconds of that game were amazing because they were just knocking each other down, and the scrum was on. And the Preds fired in the net when it was like 0.45 seconds after the horn went off. We all go crazy. Blues fans are screaming, no, it's not a goal. Meanwhile, we're all up and down, yeah. And the Blues players are on the ice, like slapping hands, like, yeah, we won. And then they won the game. But I'm telling you, don't leave games.
No.
Don't leave a game. And it's always like, wow, you got to beat the park. You knew before you got there you would have a problem with traffic and parking. Just, it's fine. Don't leave games.
Yep, I agree with that. Just know what you sign up for.
Yes.
So we'll talk to Brittany Austin, who's our VP of Marketing. The animated game coming up on April 1st. Really excited about that. So she'll talk more about that. 10 o'clock, new Titans quarterback Tim Boyle is going to join us. Now, what's our connection to Tim Boyle?
So Tim Boyle played college at Eastern Kentucky University, and obviously we've got an in at
we
Eastern
know the coach.
Kentucky University. So I texted him Wednesday. We got through the channels, texted Tim. He's been very gracious. He said, I'd love to. So he's coming on at 10 o'clock today. Now, look, this is like his ninth team. We get all that. But the fact, Tim Hasselbeck told us this years ago.
Yep.
Until all 32 teams tell you to hit the road, keep playing football. And Tim Boyle is making his way around the league. Teams love him. Coaching staffs love him. So evidently he's doing something correct to be sticking around. So he's going to join us at 10 o'clock. I think he's got the best marketing plan in America. It's like a 7th or 8th team.
Yeah.
Still getting paid. Somebody sent me a note and said he went to the same high school as Will Levis.
Oh, really?
So I
don't know.
I'm too lazy to Google. I'll Google that in a little bit.
Well, I mean, I am curious of, coming in here and the appeal of, competing in a crowded quarterback room because, right now there's 3 of them. We all know there's going to be 4, or we think there's going to be 4. Now somebody could leave, but I'm curious of that competition. So we'll talk to him at 10 o'clock. Chris Sanders is going to join us before that at 9:45. And then at 10:30, our man Doug Scopel, who we randomly ran into in Miami one time, who has been with the Sounds since maybe since they were formed. I don't know. He's been here a long time. He'll join us, and we'll talk more about what to expect with opening weekend and opening night here at First Horizon Park. But we also got some basketball tonight, Joe. Tennessee, Kentucky in the Sweet 16. I mean, I heard Robbie say, and when he said it, I was kind of like, huh? But I think I agree with him that if Tennessee wins this game, I mean, this is going to be the biggest win in their history. Like a tournament Sweet 16 win over your arch rival.
Boy, that's a good one. Let me think about this for a second because you only made it to the Elite 8 twice.
Is it twice?
You met last year and then 2010.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, that is – yeah, you know what? Probably. You knock off Kentucky to go to the Elite 8. Yeah, you're probably right on that.
And they've gotten you twice already this year. So
that Robbie Stanley, that guy, he's amazing.
There were 4 games last night. Florida advances, beats Maryland 87-71. Duke defeats Arizona 193. Arizona hung in there, but Duke was able to close it out. Alabama, I think I saw this right, set an NCAA tournament record, 25 3-pointers.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, they were just draining from behind the arc. We were watching the Preds game. I was like, they could not miss. So they win 113-88. And then the game of the night goes to overtime. Arkansas and John Calipari had been in control. Texas Tech battles back, ties it up, goes into overtime. They win 85-83 in OT. So Arkansas is eliminated. So basically all chalk last night as you have the 1s and 2s and 3s all advancing to the Elite 8, but some good games last night.
Explain this whole chalk thing to me.
Basically,
what's up with this?
Basically, your higher seeded teams win.
Okay.
Like if you fill out a bracket and you have like all 1s in your final 4, that's chalk. Because basically you're saying that the teams that should win are going to win.
Okay. All right. Now look, I'm hanging with the cool kids now. I had no idea what that meant. That was something that Joe Rexford came up with. Who's part of my favorite radio show. Robbie and Rexford, do all that. Well, good. I mean, that'd be so. Tonight we got Tennessee, Kentucky, Purdue, Houston,
Ole Miss, Michigan State, and Michigan, Auburn.
Boy, would that not be great to see Ole Miss and Auburn in the Elite 8? Goodness.
Or what about Michigan State?
I don't like Michigan State because I don't like Joe Rexford. So that's even though he's part of my favorite radio show in the morning, Robbie and Rexford.
You just woke up this morning and just chose to pick on Rexford.
I do.
How is Rexford? Like, is he feeling better? He's struggling? Well, you know what? I applaud him for doing the show because, I just that's showing the moxie that he has. A lot of heart.
Maybe Mitch Light can rub some Vicks on his chest later on and make him feel better. He'll feel a lot better going forward. Do we have is there still a possibility of 4 SEC teams getting into the Final Four, which would be the first time ever?
I mean, yeah, Florida won.
So who does Alabama play in the Elite 8?
That's a great question.
Duke? Come on, Alabama.
Yeah. So Duke, Alabama, Florida would play. Who does Florida play? Texas Tech. Okay. Yep. All right. So Duke and Alabama, Florida, Texas Tech, and then you got the games tonight. So yeah, it certainly could happen.
But there's also the possibility that none could make it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'd like to say, boy, it would drive people crazy if 4 SEC teams made the Final Four because all the fan bases just wouldn't shut up. I wouldn't shut up about it either. I mean, like I said, 85 was the last time we got 3 in. St. John. St. John's, Georgetown, and Villanova. And they had and Memphis. Keith Lee, who by the way might be my number 2 all-time favorite basketball player, is we all remember the Memphis State days. They got there up to the God, Keith Lee, man. I mean, there's some names you bring up of guys in college basketball.
There's a wrestler named Keith Lee.
Days of yore, like Mr. Jennings up in East Tennessee State. Guys who you just remember from the tournament in the 80s who did things and amazing. So I'd like to see it be fun.
I want to ask you a question when it comes to this tournament, though, and it's something that's been talked about a little bit, but I heard a national pundit mention it, and I've now noticed it a lot more. So I want to see if you have noticed this as well. We're live today at First Horizon Park. It is opening day for the Nashville Sounds, so you definitely want to come out here later tonight as they will take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. We look forward to that, and you can hear it on 94.9 The Fan with Jeff Hemp starting at 6:20. We'll come back with much more here on the Chasing Big Joe Show presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. A lot of heart.
Maybe Mitch Light can rub some Vicks on his chest later on and make him feel better.
I have pneumonia.
Yes.
Juvenile diabetes.
Yes.
Hysterical pregnancy.
A little bit, yes. You also have several diseases that have just been discovered in you.
I see. You sure you just haven't made thousands of mistakes?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, this sounds like bad news.
Well, you'd think so, but all of your diseases are in perfect balance. If you have a moment, I can explain.
Well,
Here's the door to your body, you see? And these are oversized novelty germs. That's influenza, that's bronchitis, and this cute little cuddlebug is pancreatic cancer. Here's what happens when they all try to get through the door at once. Move it, shout ahead. We call it Three Stooges syndrome.
so what you're saying is I'm indestructible.
Oh, no. In fact, even a slight breeze could...
Indestructible.
Oh, well done, Dr. Cray. Little C. Montgomery Burns on this Friday. Again, we're live at First Horizon Park. Oh, look, they're putting the graphics up, getting ready. When's Big Joe Dubin going to bat? That's what we want to know.
Nobody wants to know that.
Oh, that would be great. Sounds open their season tonight. You can weigh in on anything we're talking about at 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Before I get to my my point on the NCAA tournament, Clay has called in. Hello, Clay.
Boys, how we doing?
Oh, we're wonderful. How are you?
We hungry this morning?
We are hungry. We're always hungry.
Donuts on the way.
Oh, let's go.
I'm Venmoing you right now. How much? $4?
Clay, do you know that your laugh is now a drop on our show?
I try to sound like Big Joe.
You have one of your own. Dr. Crane has taken it, in his abilities, and he's taken it upon himself to make you a drop. So congratulations.
Well, that's great. Y'all are probably y'all are the only show that has your own donut delivery.
We're very grateful for that.
Don't touch them.
They're sitting in the passenger seat there, Big Joe. Now let's talk a little sports. This is a sports talk show.
Yep, allegedly.
Did y'all watch the Alabama game last night by chance?
Yeah, I saw a lot of it. They were draining threes.
25 threes.
Unbelievable.
I mean, think about that. I think the Vanderbilt school record in 05 in Knoxville, I think they made 17 or 18 when they beat UT, and that's the school record. I think the Memorial Gym record for Vanderbilt maybe is either 15 or 16. 25 3. That's 75 points from three-pointers.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, 25 times 3 carry the one. Yeah, you were right. That is
Good
75.
job on the math.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I mean, they could have scored 120 if they wanted to. Seriously, if they play like that, who's going to beat them?
Yeah, but can they replicate that? Night in and night out. That's the thing. Who you got in Kentucky and Tennessee? I know you hate both of them.
No, I'll be honest with you. I am a Vanderbilt fan, so I do not like the University of Tennessee. I firmly stand on the right-hand side, the correct side of the fence.
Yep.
So when Calipari was their coach, I didn't like him. So I was hoping they just beat the crap out of one another. Now Mark Pope is the coach, and I hear that they really like him. He sticks around and signs autographs after the post game and things like that. He knows how to appease to the fans. Go Big Blue.
Okay. All right. Clay has made his choice. Clay, we will see you in a bit. Thank you.
Thanks.
I mean, look, I think it's funny that he says that. Calipari was such a jerk,
right?
That they take anybody at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. This just says Wes just needs to talk, so we'll bring in Wes. Wes, what's up?
Oh, happy Friday, guys. How y'all doing today?
We're good, man. How are you?
Yeah, we've had better days. We've had better days. And I just, I wanted to voice an opinion about something. Every day we make mistakes. Sometimes it's a big mistake that gets brushed under the rug. Sometimes it's a big mistake that affects a bunch of people, you and anybody around you. The only thing that I have to say is please just be considerate, because if someone makes a mistake, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't something that was done purposely.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever if you make a mistake, typically you feel bad about it, especially if it really, really impacts somebody else. And we had a situation, at work this week where a dog got cut really bad.
Ooh.
And that's I've never worked with another groomer or anything that has cut a dog and been like, yep, that was my intention. I'm so glad that I just really, really chopped that dog's ear off, and I get it. It's a stressful situation, and it's not something that I would expect anybody to just be like, oh yeah, that's fine. But blasting it on social media and coming for a whole business or coming for somebody specifically, and man, it has snowballed into like one of the worst things, to the point where now I'm so anxious, I'm so worried and concerned every day to go to work that I'm going to end up on social media if I make a mistake. And the only thing I want to say is, guys, you don't know what someone's going through. You have no idea what is in someone's head, what they're dealing with outside of this job. And I promise you, if I cut your dog, or anybody else that I know cut your dog by accident, it was just that. It was an accident. It wasn't intentional. And please, just try your hardest to dig deep and understand that mistakes happen, and try your hardest to forgive that person and move on. Just be considerate of other people. That's all I got.
You
Amen.
good, man.
Amen
We're here
to that.
for you, brother. Anytime.
Thank you, Wes.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
you. Yeah. Look, he's right. We all you and I make mistakes daily.
Jeez Louise. That's the thing. I mean, if you just sit there and focus on the mistakes you make every day, you wouldn't get out of bed.
I'll add something to that conversation too. If you make a mistake, learn to forgive yourself.
Ooh, it's tough.
That's probably the toughest part. Forgiving others is the easy part. Forgiving yourself, that's what so many people struggle with.
It is. As my therapist said, remember this: God does not keep score.
Yeah.
So you mess up, and I tell people throughout history, God's only had to work with humans, so he knows we were not perfect like that. So amen to that, Wes. Got you, brother. Anytime you need to talk, you know where we are.
Yep, 100%. Real quick, I'll wrap up my point with the tournament. I guess last weekend I was watching, all the coverage and everything, and I forgot who said it, but one of the pundits kind of pointed out that, with NIL, you're not seeing as many upsets in the tournament. And if you look at this year especially, we've seen some minor ones, but nothing like, a 16 beating a 1 or something like that. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the NIL and the portal and all that stuff has ruined some of the magic of March Madness, or is this just a down year?
I'm going to go with a down year for right now, because it doesn't happen all the time. It's happened once, like this year, So I think it's a down year, but they look like, like Dalton Connect was at Northern Colorado, right?
Yes.
And then it at Tennessee. The kid from Tennessee that's from here, North Florida.
Yeah.
So good for these guys getting these opportunities now to move to bigger programs who might have been overlooked to come out of high school or junior college. I don't mind it. If it happens the next 2 years, then yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes these teams are just better than that other team. I mean, it happened. Everybody was it Jay Williams that got a lot of hate because he picked the top seeds to make it all the way to the Final Four?
Yeah, that's chalk. But yeah.
Yeah. And so hey, and they're like, oh, no upsets. You don't watch college basketball. He's like, I believe that these are the best teams, and he's being proved right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the fun with all that. But look, we talk about this. These teams don't win the Final Four. They very rarely get to the Elite Eight. Sometimes they get to the Sweet 16, but we list like the upsets of day 1 and day 2. But it's not happening this year, because these teams are better. I mean, they are just better. Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Duke, Tennessee. They're just good basketball teams.
Yep, 100%. And look, I mean, it could go both ways in that if, you got I'll use MTSU, for example. You got a couple of guys, transfers that Nick McDevitt gets in there that maybe weren't superstar players at their Power 4 programs, they come in and have a great year, and then you could get the upsets.
Yeah.
I mean, like it definitely could, happen. So I'm kind of with you, but I thought it was an interesting discussion.
Well, it's also now that, all right, I'm at a JUCO, I get to MTSU. I know I'm not staying at MT, and that's not nothing at MTSU or Western Kentucky, but these guys are looking to springboard to the Tennessees and Alabamas and Florida. But if you got them for a year, you got them for a year and ride with it and see how far you can go. Tennessee at Dalton Connect for 1 year, and they made the most out of it.
Well, and that's why I'm kind of intrigued to see what, if Cam Ward is in fact going to come to Tennessee to be the quarterback of the Titans. He is in town for the private workout and all that stuff. But if that's the case, I'm curious of how going from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami and then to the NFL, how that affects him. If that does have a positive for him moving forward. So we will see. Coming up next, there's a really cool thing that's going to be happening on Tuesday involving the Nashville Predators going into the hockeyverse. Brittany Austin, the VP of Marketing for the Nashville Predators, is going to join us coming up next to talk more about that. Here on the Chasing Big Joe Show, live at First Horizon Park, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're at First Horizon Park today. It's opening night for the Nashville Sounds. Bridgestone Arena yesterday, of course. Coming up April 1st, that's Tuesday, the Predators will take on the Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus. But on News Channel 5 at 6 o'clock, you will be able to watch something really, really cool. Our man Max Hers is going to be a part of it, Chris Mason as well. To learn more on this, we bring in the Predators Vice President of Marketing, Brittany Austin, who's on the line with us. Brittany, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday. So I am very, very excited about Music City Hockey in Smashville, this animated game that we're going to be able to watch. And Max was telling me about it. He went to New York to do more with it. But this is going to be really cool for Preds fans and especially young Preds fans.
Absolutely. We're really excited. This is the first opportunity for the Preds to participate in something like this. We're partnering with the NHL to create what they call a data visualization. It's pretty neat in that you take the real data from what's going on the ice in Columbus, and they transform it into animated version of what you're seeing in real time. We've built out an entire world of Smashville, and we're excited to kind of bring this to life for kids and families. And it's a unique way to sort of experience and learn about hockey and our city and our players in a pretty unique way.
So I guess for reference, people that have watched the NFL games on Nickelodeon, seen the animated stuff, it's similar to that. Like we're seeing this technology now, which is really cool.
Absolutely, yeah. There's technology called the NHL Edge puck and player tracking data that they take and it transfers into this world, and so that'll be happening in real time. But we've created this whole scene that is a hockey rink on Broadway that features sort of all of our iconic Nashville and Music City icons. You're going to see the Ryman, the Grand Ole Opry, Bluebird Cafe, and you're going to see hockey right in the middle of it. So it's similar to those broadcasts that we've seen, but it'll be super unique to us and representing Smashville in an animated way.
Brittany, the main thing about this is not try to figure out how it's done, just enjoy it. Because I think I've been looking at it and like, how are they doing this? And I'm thinking, just enjoy it, Joe. Is that what we should do?
Absolutely. This is intended to be a fun way to sit down with your kids and your families and your neighbors and enjoy just a hockey game through a different lens. Nash is the star of the show. He's sort of going to be bringing his Music City friends, featuring some of our bobbleheads that we've done this year. So you're going to see Keith Urban and Tim McGraw, Vince Gill, Amy Grant. And you're going to see Nash kind of going on these really fun adventures. If you follow us on social media, you've started to see some peaks of what those look like, but it's definitely intended to be a fun way to learn about hockey. You're going to see a lot of our players answering questions that kids want to know, like little things from, what's your favorite food to what was your favorite music growing up. And so definitely intended to be just a fun way to watch a hockey game through a different lens.
We're talking to the Vice President of Marketing, Brittany Austin. So Brittany, make sure I'm correct with this. It's going to air on Channel 5 starting at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, correct?
That's correct. News Channel 5, 6 p.m. So everyone will be able to watch it. And then it'll also be on NHL.com for those locally. But yeah, tune in. It's going to be a great show.
When you were first approached with this, like all that's happening, was it like, let's do this? Because I think this is so much fun.
Absolutely. We are all about trying new and fun things in Smashville. And so when the NHL went to teams, there was about 17 different teams that applied, and we were one of the 4 that were selected to do this locally. The NHL are great partners of ours, and they love Nashville and love Smashville and know how great our fans are in this market. And so we were super excited to raise our hand and say yes. This is the first time they've done this on the local level, so it's really unique to be able to bring our kind of world to life for family and kids.
Brittany, when are they going to unveil the animated version of Sean Henry? Because we're all really looking forward to seeing that.
He didn't make the character cut, but we have joked about needing to find a way to get something in there, a gold sweater vest and gold kicks for sure.
That could be fun. So we're really looking forward to that coming up on Tuesday. On Thursday, April 3rd from 6 to 10, it's the annual Wine Fest. It's going to take place on the Bridgestone Arena floor. That one just came. I mean, this is a big event that happens every year, but it's hard to believe it's a week away. But looking forward to this one as well.
Absolutely. Always a fun event. Great to get down on the floor and get to taste a lot of local wines from all over. So it's an event not to miss for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Brittany, thanks so much for doing this today. We're looking forward to watching the animated game on Tuesday, and we know our man Max Hurst is going to do a great job as well.
He is. They had a little too much fun in the rehearsal, so anticipate that'll be the same on Tuesday.
Yes, Brittany, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Brittany Austin,
Bye-bye.
the VP of Marketing for the Nashville Predators, joining us. And again, you can watch the program on News Channel 5 coming up on Tuesday at 6 o'clock as Music City Hockey in Smashville, as the Predators will take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, you have that you can watch with the kids. You'll have the traditional broadcast on FanDuel. We'll have the radio broadcast here as well. So a lot of different ways that you can take in some Predators hockey. Going to be really cool. What do you think an animated version of us would look like?
Oh my gosh,
We'd be the Simpsons.
We would be. I don't want to see that. I really don't.
I do.
And I don't think anybody would watch that either. I'm not sure, but no, that'd be kind of cool. But I think all this is, they did obviously with the Nickelodeon and all the stuff they started there with the thing. What was that thing?
SpongeBob and
all that. So it's kind of cool. Why not? It'd be fun to watch a game that way.
Yeah, I definitely think it will. Coming up next, we'll shift gears. We'll talk a little football with our man Chris Sanders, get his thoughts on Cam Ward visiting the Titans and all of that. Here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, we're live today at First Horizon Park for the Nashville Sounds opening night. Dr. Crane is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Little Whitney on this Friday, Chasing Big Joe live at First Horizon Park. Sounds opening night. I know our next guest, Christopher Dwayne Sanders, loves some Whitney. We bring in Chris Sanders now. I mean, how could you not feel bad with Whitney?
Oh, man, I used to love when her first album came out. I think it was 1980 something. Hey, I used to listen to it all the time. Man. That caught me off guard, man.
I wanted you to feel good this morning.
Oh, man, I'm doing good, actually. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, we're obviously glad to have you. So we had the pro day down at Miami with Cam Ward.
Yes, sir.
Now there are reports that he's in town for the private workout. They had the entire contingent from the Titans, including Jim Wyatt, that were down there. I mean, it's pretty much we know now, right? Like it's a foregone conclusion. Cam Ward is going to be the next quarterback of the Tennessee Titans.
I really believe so, and everybody knows, the intangible that he has. We know his skill set is great, but here's what I love about the whole pro day is what he said afterward to when he was doing his interview. He said this. He was talking like a veteran football player. He said some quotes like this, throwing on rhythm, getting depth in the pocket, climbing to the pocket when I need to. And here's the crazy part about the whole situation, how he was dissecting a defense. So when you're talking about getting a guy to come in and play right away, I mean, I really believe, I think he's your guy. He may come in and struggle a little bit, make some mistakes, but listening to what he said, listen to him dissect the defense, listen to him talking about quarterback play in the pocket, it just shows you he can come in and play right away.
Do you like the idea of we're going to have Tim Boyle on in just a few minutes, who just signed here is another quarterback? So right now that's 3 quarterbacks in the QB room. You add Ward, that would be 4. Do you like that? I mean, we all know how it's going to shake out probably, but do you like that type of competition going into camp?
Absolutely, because the thing about it is, just say if Cam Ward comes in here and he struggles and he gets hurt or something like that, you got to have a valuable backup. And I think that the 3 guys that are in, I think that they're going to have some great competition, because at the end of the day, the teams that win are the teams that stay healthy. I think it was maybe about 3 or 4 years ago where a lot of the starting quarterbacks got hurt, and the teams that were winning had valuable backups. So you have a situation to where you're creating competition. You're creating a situation to where if they do draft Cam Ward, he goes down, you still have a valuable backup to come in and not miss a beat. So I think it's very imperative. I know it's kind of silly to have 4 guys in that quarterback room, but at the end of the day, you need to have a valuable starter and also have a valuable backup.
You got to witness it firsthand because you came in 95 with Steve McNair, and Floyd used to tell the stories of that he basically got in front of the media and said, "Here's Steve McNair, get a good look because you're not going to see him for a while. He's going to sit, he's going to learn." Before he got his opportunity. So you witnessed that. How beneficial was it for him to not have the pressure of having to play in and week out? And even for you as a guy that was having to prove yourself, you probably got some reps alongside him, which probably helped your chemistry.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Steve McNair had a chance to develop into the quarterback that he was, because, when you come in, and you said a key word is the pressure that Steve McNair was under. So if you bring a kid in here that he is a great athlete, he is a great quarterback, but he comes into a situation to where all the pressure's on him. Some people crack and some people exceed. But with Steve McNair, he had a chance to learn. He had to learn from Jerry Rome. He had to learn from Les Steckel, guys like that could help him develop into, the quarterback that he was. But now you got a situation today that everybody's expecting that a quarterback that gets drafted first round, they're expecting him to play right away, like the C.J. Strouds and guys like that. But at the end of the day, with Steve McNair, when he developed into that great quarterback and had a chance to sit down and learn, that's why he became a co-MVP later on down the road, because he had a chance to develop and understand what being a quarterback is.
Chris Sanders is with us. Chris, you ready?
Where's my theme song?
Here we go.
Okay.
That's good. That's a touchdown, baby.
All right.
Baby. Oh my God. Hey, you know the crazy part about this, Big Joe?
What?
Is I was just listening to that song 2 days ago. That's why I'm laughing. That's the jam. That's Tony Tone, man.
Well, it's funny. When I come to work, this is not a joke. I'm like, all right, Lord, what song we got for Chris? I'm telling you, that played on the way in today. I'm like, this is perfect. 1990. You're a senior in high school, and you're getting ready to go and everything, and boom.
But you know what? That song is one of those happy songs that I really, really love, especially when I was in Actually, it was 1990, 91. I would
Right.
always listen to that song because my first year at Ohio State, it was probably one of the hardest years I've ever been through. So with that song that you played, and I'm not just saying this because you played it, but those are the times when you go through trials and tribulations. Say, you know what? It feels good to be at Ohio State. It feels good to be alive. It feels good to have your next meal. So I had to. That's why that song means a lot to me. That's good stuff, man. Golly,
Yeah,
that's good.
right. Yeah, it feels
So
good.
good.
Yeah, right. All right.
Oh,
So
you sound-
Jason,
ooh, no, can't do that. No.
Jason mentioned that Cam Ward's in town.
Yes.
Is there a moment, like he's getting pulled and prodded every different
Yeah.
direction, everybody?
Yep.
Does he need a go-to, like a mentor, a guy that's
Yeah.
away from it all and he can talk to? How valuable would that be for him?
It's so valuable. I mean, just to help him process of what actually is going on, because you're going through all the interviews, you're going through the pro day, but this is a whole different monster when you get into the NFL. So if he can get with somebody and just teach him the ins and outs, how to handle pressure, how to handle the media, all these things, then he's going to be well prepared. But you got to understand that there's a great price to play when you're walking in greatness. So everybody's putting you left and right, commercials and doing all this. And then now when you come to the Tennessee Titans, you go from being a guy from the University of Miami to the face of a franchise. That's a whole different pressure. So if I was sitting down and mentoring him, I say, listen, let's do this. First of all, we're going to surround yourself with people that care about you. Don't care about what you do. They care about you. They want to see you succeed. And then number two, I just say, listen, man, just enjoy the ride and enjoy the process. And number three, I would say you got to be a professional in everything you do. So those are the things that I would say to Cam Ward.
And then this falls back on when Vince Young was here. I don't think Vince Young had that, because now he had the Rose Bowl game and now he's here. He's the face of the franchise. All the money being thrown at him. I don't think Vince had a person like that you needed to be like, all right, let's separate
He could have
ourselves
if
from
the
everybody.
damn owner had stayed out of the way.
Right?
Yeah.
But I just think
But
Vince
see-
didn't have any of that.
But you know why? I think this is just my opinion. I think people were afraid to approach Vince because of his success. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hurt his feelings that he's mad at me. And I think that, it's funny that you're talking about that because I was looking at a thing that Vince Young was talking about. He did an interview, a podcast, and he said he surrounded himself with the wrong people. And here's what he said that really stuck out. He said, I wouldn't listen to anybody. So when you have a situation to where you're not going to listen to anybody, but you get somebody that doesn't care if you're a star to say, listen, man, let's go down this route so you don't make the mistakes that they made. So that's the kind of. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, you talk about that and moving on with things. How did you, I don't think we've ever asked you this. How did you know when it was over? Like, I'm done with football.
I knew it was over when I think I was running a route, right? Because my back was done. And this is when I came back with the Tennessee Titans, whatever. And I couldn't run. I couldn't run like I used to. Usually I'm running by people. And now I'm going against people that are running like 4.8 and I can't even run by them. So I basically knew that was over. And it's kind of like, you're driving and you see a sign that says yield. Even though you keep going, eventually you're going to have to stop. And that's kind of like what my life was with football. Is I felt like I was going, but eventually it came to a stop. So when I felt that it came to a stop, it was hard. But at the end of the day, football was what I did. It wasn't who I was. So I had to understand that.
Chris, let me ask you this:
Sure.
Cam Ward's in the building. And as Joe alluded to, like, he's getting pulled from all different directions and talking to, this person and talking to the chef and talking to, whatever.
Yeah.
If the report came out that there was a part where Cam said, hey, everybody, I appreciate it, but can I just have a minute? And he walks out on that field and it's just him and he just kind of takes it in. To me, if I heard something like that, I'm like, I want that guy in my building right now because he knows his limits. He's not afraid to say, hey, give me my space. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing about us, we as men, we're afraid to say those things because if we say I need to step away, the world says it's a sign of weakness. That is completely false. It's just saying I got to step away and get my composure back. That's how you see guys that retire and then come out of retirement. What they're basically saying is, I just need a break. I'm tired of all the meetings. I'm tired of all the coaches. I'm tired of, going to the same place. I'm tired of getting scrutinized. It's just stepping away and getting a clear picture of what you want to do. And what's so sad is sometimes we as fans think that if a guy does that, that it's a sign of weakness. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Look at the situation with AJ Brown. Nobody knew he was going through mental health, mental
Yeah.
stuff in his mind, because he was afraid to talk to anybody. But the thing about it is, it's like we got to be life preservers in people's life. We see people drowning. Throw your life out there and pull them out of the mud as opposed to dogging them. Say, let's take a break. Let's learn from the situation to help you become a better man, a better football player, and just a better human being in task.
Amen to that, my friend. Chris, thanks as always. By the way,
appreciate it.
we're all kind of in this together, but excited about the Nashville Cats coming back
Let's
this
go.
weekend. I know you and Eli
Me
Gold
too.
are going to be doing the TV broadcast. Big Joe and I
Yes,
are going to
we
be
are.
handling radio. So we're excited about it. It's going to be fun.
Man, it is. I love the fast pace. I love to see what the Cats are doing. And then the team that they're playing, Albany, whoa, they got some dudes, man. So I'm excited to see what's going on. So we're excited.
Greg Pogue texted me and said they will have a uniform and helmet for you just in case.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
And
tell me
Chris,
he looks like Conway Twitty.
Chris, you can't see right now, but I'm gonna share my Nashville Cats notes with you right now on the stream. It's a
There's
blank
one guy-
page.
It is. I had to read.
it is. Hey, it's a blank canvas. That's what
Right,
it
there
is.
we go, man.
We'll
that.
see you tomorrow, Chris.
Man, appreciate you, fellas. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver and Nashville Cats analyst, joining us here on the program. We are moving fast and furious today from one thing to another, including coming up next, new Titans quarterback Tim Boyle. We'll talk to him. He's going to, probably be in the same room as Cam Ward at some point, but we'll get his thoughts on signing with the Titans and why this was a good fit for him. We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe live today, First Horizon Park here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this Friday. First Horizon Park, the Nashville Sounds opening night. Looking forward to that, but continuing some football discussion as we're pleased to be joined by new Titans quarterback Tim Boyle, who is on the line with us. Tim, good morning. How you doing?
I'm fantastic, boys. I appreciate that. I got to say, that was an electric opening there. That was fantastic.
I don't think it's worse from there, though.
No, I don't know. We like to bring the energy. That's what
That
we
was
certainly.
incredible. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, welcome to Nashville. I know that this has got to be exciting, but I'll just start with the easy question. Why the Titans? Why was this an appealing place for you to continue your career?
Yeah, man, it's, I know the division. I spent a little bit of time in Houston. I really like the division, but ultimately, man, it's about opportunity. It's, they were one of the few teams to include me in their plans this offseason, after finishing with the Giants last year. I think March 12th was free agency, and I was able to get a couple contacts from a couple different teams, and Tennessee called me down, had me in for a workout, and apparently saw what they liked and decided to sign me. But I think it's going to be a really good fit. I know a couple of guys in the team, couple of coaches as well, and I'm actually fairly familiar with the offense, thankfully. So I think it's going to be a really good fit.
Well, and that was my next question. Brian Callahan, the offense that the Titans run, the appeal with him, being able to work with him as a guy that has spent, his entire career working with quarterbacks. I'm sure that had to be a big deal.
Absolutely. And, I'm actually good friends with Will Levis. He went to my high school actually in Connecticut. Okay. So I left and he came in. So him and I are well acquainted with each other, and just talking with him the past couple of years. Obviously he only had Cali for 1 year last year, but he really likes the offense, the pro style West Coast system. And from a terminology standpoint, it's very similar to what I'm used to with the kind of rooted from the Shanahan system. So I'm excited to kind of stick my teeth into the offense and the terminology, but yeah, being around, good coaches is always a blessing. It's, I think I'm a huge believer. You're a product of your environment, and I'm excited to work with those guys. I think there's a hell of a quarterback coach in Bo Hardegree as well. So I'm excited to get back in that room. And like I said, just sink my teeth into the offense, get to know the guys, and, plant my roots hopefully down in Nashville.
We're joined by new Titans quarterback Tim Boyle here on the Chasing Big Joe show. And look, it's no secret. You're walking into what's now there's 3 of you in the quarterback room. We all are aware the Titans have the first overall pick and could certainly take a quarterback. It could be a crowded room, but in some ways, is that a good thing for creating the competition between, the 3 of you and Will and Brandon and yourself and somebody else? I mean, competition has to be good, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, the NFL is always going to be competition every year. And, I just finished my 7th year in the league last year, and every year for me has been an absolute dogfight. And I kind of think it brings the best out of me and most competitors. It's a production-based industry, and if something's handed to you, some guys take their foot off the gas, but every year for me, I have to be full throttle and I have to be ready to go. So, do I understand that there's 3 quarterbacks right now? They have the number 1 overall pick. Well, do they want to go quarterback? Do they not want to go quarterback? That's above my pay grade. So, what I can control right now is trying to learn this offense as best as possible and try to build some strong relationships so I can put myself in the best position to succeed on the field. But there's a lot of speculation, a lot of assumption of what's going to happen, what the quarterback room could look like. I'm excited to meet Brandon. I've never really been around him. Obviously, like I said, I know Will, and I'd be obviously very willing to help a young quarterback if we do end up getting one. But I'm trying to live in the world of controlling what I can control and bring my positive energy to the room every day, and hopefully, as the chips fall, just land a spot long term with the Titans.
I love it. New Titans quarterback Tim Boyle's on the phone with us today. I looked at your career, and you talk about you've been in a dogfight every year. Even when you were an undrafted free agent with the Packers, I'm sure everybody told you, you'll never make the team. You'll get there. What has kept you going? Because obviously you're doing something well, Tim.
That's a good question. Yeah, and something I guess I don't really get to reflect on often, but, I kind of have this chip on my shoulder, and it's not an unhealthy chip. But, just the fact that, I wasn't good enough to get drafted, and, there were guys drafted in my year who are no longer in the NFL. So there's kind of that edge that I have of, I wasn't good enough to go to the combine. I wasn't good enough to get drafted. And I want to go prove it. early on in my career, I wanted to prove other people wrong. And I've kind of transitioned into wanting to prove myself right. Every year I just want to prove that I can still do it. I can still show up. I can still play good quarterback. I can be a good leader in the locker room, in the quarterback room. And, I think having that a healthy chip on my shoulder is a good thing. And I want to continue it. I told myself my goal is to try to have 10 plus years in the NFL. This will be 8. And like I said, it's a dogfight, but I do think that edge, that dogfight mentality in me, it keeps me sharp every year because, I'm 30 years old and, some people think that's older in the NFL, but, I've had really nothing handed to me. So going out and proving it every day, proving myself right every day, I think is important.
I love it. How well do you know Brian Callahan?
Not extremely well. I got to meet him this past couple of days when I was down in Nashville for my workout. But I do know what he's been, from a quarterback standpoint, just his resume. I do know the system he runs. Just watching some film on the Titans the past year. But I do know he's a good family man. He's he made a wonderful impression with me. Just the couple conversations I had a few days ago, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know him better as well.
Is it more of a like, hey, we can't wait to get you here? I mean, he probably didn't sit down and do a lot of X's and O's with you. Just the fact that we need kind of a veteran presence, and you seem to be a very veteran presence everywhere you go. I guess you got to be excited for this opportunity too, because you're mentoring, you're playing. You might be I think you could be a great future head coach down the line if you want to do it at any level.
Hey,
so it's all right. So all of this is just, you're still like a kid, right?
No doubt. I mean, hey, I started playing when I was 6 years old. Like I said, I'm 30 now, and I haven't worked a day in my life. I mean, the inner child in me screams every day because I get to do the play the sport I love. And to your point, I just want to be a good presence for the team. I think football is such a cool sport because all 11 have to be on the same page, and team camaraderie has to be so high. And my big thing that I'm going to preach, hopefully when I can coach down the road, is culture. I want to be a good culture guy. I want to make sure guys are hanging out outside the facility. And I think the most important room in the building is the quarterback position. So I think just bringing my positivity, bringing my presence, my experience, the things I've messed up, the things I've done well, and just trying to bring that to the room. And I think Brandon's going to do the same thing. Obviously, he's older than myself, and he's played more football than I have. And I'm excited to be around him and learn from him as well. But yeah, man, I pinch myself. I'm 30 years old. I get to play football. I'm excited to be able to just be around the guys and get to know them. But yeah, I'm excited to hopefully be around a couple younger guys and help those guys out and have them learn from a few of my mistakes, hopefully.
How much did you know about the Titans before you signed this week?
Yeah, I know a decent amount. It's like I said, I was in the division last offseason. I spent all of OTAs in training camp with the Houston Texans. So just being around the division, I got to know just the brand of football that they played. Obviously, when Vrabel was there, just the mentality, the physicality they brought. But last year, I like how they operated the offense. I played against the Titans last year when I was with the Dolphins, and I was able to watch Will. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and then Mason came in. And, it's always cool to watch a backup quarterback play in a game midway through. And I think he played an extremely clean game, but that goes to Callie, the coordinator, all these guys who are making sure that the quarterbacks are ready to go. And he stepped in there, and I'm pretty sure they beat us, if my memory serves me correctly. So, not a whole lot when it comes to Nashville. I've only been a couple of times. I'm excited to sink my teeth into Nashville and explore. But I have a pretty good grasp on the offense, and just being down there, in the building, it seems like the culture is wonderful. The coaches all love being around each other. Nice. The facility is beautiful. So I'm really excited to get back down there in April.
We're talking to Tim Boyle. He is the new Titans quarterback here on the Chase and Big Joe show. So I am curious. Most of 2023, you were with the New York Jets, and obviously with Aaron Rodgers signing there, and then he tears his Achilles. What was that whole situation like of being able to work with him, having him coming in, and then, unfortunately in the first game he gets hurt, and then it's Zach Wilson. You got to play some. What was that season like?
Yeah, it was a tough one. I was 3 years in Green Bay with Aaron, so I was able to really get close with him there. And then, fast forward a couple of years, I was able to get acquainted with him again in New York. And there was just a lot of hype around the team, man. The Jets, bringing in Aaron Rodgers and this really good defense that we had. And, Aaron's in New York, and there was a huge buzz, and we had Hard Knocks come in. So there was just a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy around the team. And, it was so unfortunate, 4 plays into the season where there's so much hype that he got hurt. And you know what? It hurt our team, because he was our vet presence. He was our captain. He was our guy. Aaron's one of those guys. He speaks, you shut up and listen. And, he flew out to Cali to do some of his rehab because he wanted to come back, hopefully if we had playoff contention. But, it was a tough year, just emotionally because he was a friend. But also because, I felt bad for Zach Wilson because I think he was looking forward to a year where he can kind of take a deep breath and learn from an Aaron Rodgers and, be a backup and kind of, like I said, take a deep breath, not be in the center of the limelight and just, kind of take a seat, step back and see it. And then he was thrusted back into being the starting job. And, it's unfortunate, they made a couple quarterback decisions. I started playing a couple games and they benched me, and then Trevor Siemian came in. So it was an emotional year, just a lot of ups and downs. But anytime you can play an NFL football game, you're blessed, whether it's a win or a loss. You just want to go out there and do what you love. And it was a fun year. I loved being in New York. I loved the facility, the people. That's the cool part about our job as well. It's just you get to meet a lot of really cool people and experience different parts of the country. So a tough year emotionally, but a lot of cool things to learn from that year when it comes to me and my development.
Tim, please tell me you're going to write a book about your career.
Oh man, a lot of people have told me to do it, but I don't even know where to begin. But I know it's been a pretty crazy career. But hopefully, whenever the dust settles and I can kind of, put a closing chapter on my whole career, and I can finally step away from it. I'll digest it all, and hopefully I can come up with something. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy career, a lot of ups and downs. But not to sound corny, but I'm extremely grateful, man. Like it's a lot of really cool people, a lot of really cool places, and I'm grateful that I have not worked a day in my life all the way up to being 30. So hopefully I can continue to do it and do what I love. And like you guys suggested, I mean, I would love to get into coaching after, just trying to get back to the game and do what I love at the end of the day,
I absolutely love it. The reason I ask, I was looking at your time with the Miami Dolphins. You go down there, you get signed, Tua gets hurt, you play in a game, you get benched, then you're on the active roster again. I mean, every day is something. You're like Rocky, Tim. I'm like, it's not hard. You get punched. It's whether or not you get back up. And my goodness, man.
Yeah, no doubt. It's allowed me to have some thick skin, but also have some really cool perspective. It's a lovely game. I love the sport. It's high profile. The NFL. But at the end of the day, you have to come back to center. You have to find the people in your corner who are always going to have your back. At the end of the day, life's still good. I do what I love. It's a game. I love it. We all want to go win a Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, I have good perspective just because I've gone through it. I've gotten cut. I've gotten benched. I've been a starter. I've been on the,
Right.
I've gotten cut and been at home for 3 weeks thinking my career is going to be over. And, even this free agency, guys, I'd be honest with you. I didn't hear a peep from anyone for a couple of weeks. I'm talking with my agent. I'm like, hey, is my career over? Like, what's the deal here? And all of a sudden, I had a couple teams interested. I was like, oh, I kind of got to take a deep breath. And then I had to work out with the Titans, and it went really well. And they signed me on the spot. And again, that's a weight off my back because I can kind of just sink into my offseason now and try to learn this offense as fast as possible. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy, but it's given me some really cool perspective, not only in football but in life. Just trying to stay as even keeled as possible.
Well, you're a winner because you went to Eastern Kentucky and played football, and we love Eastern Kentucky.
Go Currys, baby.
On this show, you took a chance. You transferred down to Eastern Kentucky. How was that valuable to you in your career to springboard you where you need to go? Because you got to play a lot at Eastern Kentucky.
No doubt. Yeah. Like in the moment, it's like, wow, it's like, it felt like the only thing I had to do, right? Like I was at UConn for 3 years. I kind of had an up and down career, and I was like, what? I want a clean slate. So I transferred. In hindsight, like I'm a little older now. I'm like, wow, I really just went all the way across the freaking country, not across the country, but went to Eastern Kentucky, bet on myself, and, kind of just went to this random school I didn't really know anything about. And, Yeah, extremely good for my career. Obviously, just got a fresh start, but met a lot of cool people down there. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time at EKU, man. Richmond's a cool spot, and again, like you said, I was able to play football, be a starting quarterback, put up some decent numbers, and it helped me ultimately get seen by the Packers, and then they signed me as an undrafted free agent.
Tim, before we let you go, how much interaction did you have with Chad Brinker in Green Bay, and did he play a role in you coming here?
Absolutely. So he actually was the scout that came to my pro day at Eastern Kentucky. So Chad and I go back, 7 years now, and he gave me my first look into the NFL, man. And he stood on a table for me and said, "Hey, I don't know much about this kid, but he watched me throw a pro day, and he brought it to the Packers' attention and said, I think it's worth a look." And fast forward a few months, they brought me in as a undrafted free agent, and I made a team, and I was there for 3 years, and Brink and I have had a really good relationship ever since, and I'm extremely happy to see him doing his thing now with the Titans, man. It's he's earned it. He's a good quality man, good family man, and I'm happy for his progression, obviously, in this league too. But just like I said, product of your environment. I want to be around good, honest people, and I think Brink is one of those people.
Well, Tim, we're excited to have you here in Nashville. Thanks so much for doing this, man. I can say this: whether you go into coaching or not, you could certainly do this on a daily basis. So, really enjoy catching up with you.
Just don't do it in Nashville. Go somewhere else to get a sports talk job.
I appreciate you, boys. I appreciate you guys so much.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys.
Tim Boyle, new Titans quarterback, joining us here on the program, and of course played at Eastern Kentucky, and a lot of connections. There's always some connections with Chad Brinker and Green Bay.
Great question.
And it's funny, when I asked the Aaron Rodgers question with the Jets, I was so focused on that year. I'm like, oh yeah, he spent 3 years in Green Bay where Aaron Rodgers had a little bit of time. So appreciate Tim for joining us. We'll come back, react to some of that and much more. You can weigh in 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Also, we're a little late on this because we've just had so much going on today. Usually we do this in the 9 o'clock hour. You can text the keyword IDOL, IDOL, now to 615-737-1025 for your chance to win a pair of all-inclusive Eurostone Club tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday, May 17th. That's served up by Bavarian Beer House, located at Opry Mills Mall. Enjoy traditional German beer, brats, giant pretzels, and more in their expansive beer hall and garden. Just text IDOL, IDOL, to 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game here on this Friday. First Horizon Park. Opening day, the Nashville Sounds baseball. Good stuff with Tim Boyle. Appreciate him for joining us. And, the connection with Chad Brinker, Aaron Rodgers. I'm surprised you didn't say, hey, call Aaron, get him to.
Oh, I'm more convinced ever that Aaron Rodgers is coming here.
I'm
It's kind of,
you're going to be disappointed.
It's happening. When it happens, and you take me to Perry's Steakhouse in Franklin because of this, because of the deal we had that I just made up.
That's cool. I probably take you somewhere a little closer, but we'll see. Hey, how about this? I'll bring you to a Nashville Sounds game.
All right, that'll work.
We'll see if we can.
It's going to happen, man.
You can throw out the first pitch.
It's going to happen.
So there you go. And Cam Ward is in town, or that's the report that he's in town for the private workout and everything. It is curious, and like I'm not gonna, browbeat Tim Boyle over it, but it sounded there like Chad Brinker was pretty much the one responsible for bringing him here. And so, I get it that it's a collective or whatever, but Borgonzi's the GM. So, I mean, what is this dynamic?
Well, he's got a relationship with
Sure,
her.
and that makes sense. But
I'm also even more convinced that Will Levis is not going to be on this roster come August.
Yeah,
because you get Allen now, and you have Tim Boyle, and then you'll have whatever quarterback you get, whether it's Cam Ward or Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you're going to or some trade. So, that's what you have.
The more I think about it, the more I agree that Levis won't be here, because if you're going to draft Cam Ward number 1 overall, and this is no slight or fault to Will Levis, but to me, it would not be to the benefit of Cam Ward to have Will Levis on the roster. And in turn, it would be not to the benefit of Will Levis for him to continue to be here, because you're basically saying, hey, you're not the guy. You're never going to be the guy here. We're bringing in this other guy that's going to be the guy. But then Cam Ward's also, there's just, you create a natural awkwardness that you can avoid. And so that's why that's one reason why I think they signed Tim Boyle, because, yes, you could carry four quarterbacks into camp. I think it's more for, they know they're probably going to try and move Levis if they take Ward.
Yeah.
And
same way.
Same Levis will go get a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I agree with you. I don't think Will Levis needs to be here if they do get a Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, he's still fighting.
There's no point.
There's 0 point to have him here.
That's why you brought in a veteran backup like Brandon Allen, who can, compete with Boyle for the backup job.
But I think Jared is onto something about them not loving this pick, and I'm all aboard with what he's talking about, because, look, it's like, we're on board, but we'll listen. And I get that. But to me, it's like they're somebody makes them an offer. It's done. They're not like the Bears.
Yeah.
The Jags, the Bengals were all in on that quarterback. Here it's kind of like, we'll see what we got. What's out there? So I don't know. It's going to be a fun next 3.5 weeks or 4 weeks to see this all come together.
If you don't love the pick, then trade out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my thing. Coming up next, we'll tell you more about opening night here at First Horizon Park. Nashville Sounds baseball. Cannot wait. Our man Doug Scopel going to join us to tell you what you can expect this weekend and for this season. It's Chasing Big Joe. We are live today at First Horizon Park for Sounds opening night, which you can hear starting at 6:20, first pitch at 6:35 over on 94.9 The Fan. And, of course, Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this lovely Friday at First Horizon Park. The Nashville Sounds open their season tonight against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. First pitch at 6:35. And to talk more about that, our man that we run into at pools in Miami Beach, which is always fun, Doug Scopel, the assistant GM and vice president of operations for the Nashville Sounds, is with us. Doug, what's up?
Hey guys, man, it's a beautiful day here, and it's opening day for baseball. It's like a holiday for us and for everyone in the country. Really, it's America's pastime.
What season is this for you?
This is my 27th in baseball, 26th with the Sound.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a little bit, and every year the juices get going just as much, if not more, than the previous year. It's a special day.
Well, you spent 16 of those 26 years at another ballpark here in town. This lovely place. This is the 10th season for First Horizon. I guess technically the 11th year because of COVID and all that, but the 10th season at First Horizon Park. I can't believe it's been 10 seasons.
I can't either. I posted something today. I still call this the new ballpark.
Yeah.
Because it feels new to me. We take a lot of pride in keeping it looking new, and we hope people see that as well. But you're right. It's snap of the fingers. It's gone by quick.
Well, I'm realizing as I'm getting older that I do things that my dad used to do, and I will every now and then be like, "Yeah, you want to go to Greer? Let's go to the Sounds." Oh wait, no, not Greer. First Horizon.
Yeah, I think I've blacked Greer out of my memory far enough now.
Yeah, well,
for a lot of good reasons.
I don't blame you at all. So opening night, it's the rare 3-game series in AAA baseball as we've seen, and I like the 6 game because you know Tuesday through Sunday you got something to do, but to kind of start the season off, a little 3-gamer against Jacksonville going to be fun this weekend.
Yeah, first time we opened at home in a couple of years, and it's a fun start to the season. Obviously, we're celebrating the start of a new season. We're going to start celebrating 10 years of memories at this ballpark. You're going to see that all throughout the season, but certainly we'll have snippets of different things going on throughout the year. Schedule cling so everybody knows when the rest of our 75 games are. Started off big with a fireworks show after the game tonight. We do those every Friday, but the first one's always a little bit bigger and more special. And just, welcoming our guys back. I mean, we're privileged to be an affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. They've won their division in the big leagues for, I think, 5 of the last 6 years. Small market team. So the guys that people get to see here in Nashville year in and year out, like last year, I think we had 31 guys play for both the Sounds and the Brewers. We're a big part of their success. So the Brewers have to develop. So we're going to see some good talent here. And we typically have competitive teams just like the Brewers do. And that makes it a lot more fun.
I remember one time we did an interview, and this has been years ago. And they said, this guy doing the show with me said, there's a way that you guarantee to sell out every game in the ballpark is if you go out and you draft all Vanderbilt players.
Well, yes.
And we were like, that's not really how that works.
Right. We don't have control over that. Yeah. We control a lot here at this ballpark. We cannot control who's in our lineup, but we have an excellent major league partner that puts a good team on the field.
Oh, absolutely. Well, who's your all-time favorite player that's come through in all these years?
In terms of the on-field or just someone I've dealt with?
Everything, yeah.
Probably Prince Fielder both ways.
Yeah.
He was 20 years old when he played for the Sounds in AAA. Obviously, he came from his father was famous, and he just was a star on the rise. But he just had such a good personality that fans saw for years in the big leagues. But that team he was on in 2005 we're celebrating that team later this year.
Oh, nice.
20 years now, our last championship team for the Sounds. So we had just a good team there, and he was a good dude, a part of a great team.
Was Ricky
Weeks was on that team.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz was on that team. I mean, there's guys who had like
Corey Hart.
Corey Hart was on that team, like 10-year, 15-year all-star careers.
Braun
was 2 years later, but all those guys came through in 2 or 3 years here. And that's we're talking about the Brewers again. That's years ago, but that's how they do. They've got to get the prospects through the system, and we're privileged to be a part of that.
So funny story about Prince Fielder. We had him on the show probably
last year,
a year ago. Yeah, I mean, something like that. And you know how, like, for whatever reason, there are times where, as a sports fan, as a baseball fan, whatever, we have these players that we either love or we don't like. He was one of those that whenever he played the Braves, would always hurt them. So I was like, man, I can't stand this guy. And I remember him playing for the Sounds and seeing him, and we had him on, and I looked at Joe, and I'm like, well, that's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. Like,
Right?
I feel like a jerk. I mean, you could hear how much he talked about Nashville and appreciate. I mean, he told, played at Greer and all that stuff. but like how much he appreciated his time here, and you could just tell that's a guy that loves the game, and I really appreciate.
Yeah,
that.
he's a good, humble person, but he also, like, on the field, that dude's got passion.
Yeah,
Like, you don't want to get in his way if you're on the other team. To your point with like the Braves or whatever. I
Yeah.
remember one game at Greer, Adam Wainwright was pitching for Memphis, fielder, and the two of them literally tried to fight from the dugout. So they were both that intensive competitors. But you take them off the field, and like an hour after the game, he's like, "Yeah, no big deal, whatever."
Yeah. They became best friends when they got to the majors.
Maybe.
And Cardinals and Brewers.
Yeah.
Not you know. I mean,
Did they really?
No, I mean that was a rivalry, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I didn't know that. Look, I know you work like 20 hours a day on game day, but is it work? I mean, it's a job you love. I mean, this is beautiful today.
Yeah, I mean, it's I grew up being a baseball fan. I played baseball through high school. At some point, you realize you can't do it, and I just always had a passion for this game, passion for communications, which is what got me in this business. But you're right, like there are a lot of hours, but we get to come to the ballpark every day to work.
Right.
You're right, Joe. And when the weather's like this on opening day, which we unfortunately haven't been lucky enough to have a lot of years at this ballpark,
Yeah.
we'll take today's weather 75 days a year.
Oh,
if we can get
sure.
it. Yeah.
Also, we have a good mutual friend, Zach Greinke,
Mhm.
is a good mutual friend. we had a rough interview with him one time. It was just
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
He is not the most talkative fellow.
yeah, that's a good way to put it right there. But he's an example of somebody that's come through, and
Yeah.
so that's the joy of coming to this, because at the end of the day, it's still about baseball,
Yeah, you're right.
personalities.
That's right. Yeah. And you're going to see baseball, you're going to see the up and coming stars, but so much of what we do and take pride in, we can't control that. The guy could be here for a week, 2 days, a whole season.
Yeah.
But it's all the fun, entertainment, things you can do at the ballpark with your family, with your friends, with your buddies, whatever it is. We got something year round, or not year round, but all season longs. Every night's a different experience here at the ballpark.
Well, when you look out at the bandbox and it's packed, and I've not heard one person complain about anything here, and it's almost perfect.
Yeah, and another thing we've done over 10 years, this place was gorgeous when it was built. We've tried to keep it at a certain level, but we also haven't just let it be the way it is. We've added things,
Yeah.
experiences every year. We added the putt-putt, we've added wiffle ball, we've added just stuff for fans to do. And yeah, while we want them to watch a baseball game, we realize it's more about events and experiences than just a baseball game.
Love it.
Doug Scoble is with us. So, all right, we know fireworks tonight. It's opening night. That speaks for itself. What about the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, so we're going to have, again, a lot of 10th anniversary stuff we're doing. We got schedule clean giveaways. Sunday is 2:00 start for us. That's always about kids and families, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have kids run the bases after that game. We've got a couple of the actors from the Sandlot movie who are coming out
Oh, cool.
to throw a first pitch.
What?
And they've got a charity called Play Now. It's I don't know the actors' names, but it's the guys that played Timmy and Tommy, the twins, and Bertram, who were in that movie, and they'll be out under the scoreboard during the game, and they're great with the fans. And then I skipped over Saturday. Hit City Saturdays is kind of a staple for us. We always have some sort of live music before the game that's pumped into the ballpark, and just make it about a fun evening night at the ballpark. Our guys wear their Hit City jerseys to kind of celebrate Nashville a little bit.
Next week on the road at Gwinnett against the Braves affiliate, and then the first true full homestand will be the Memphis Redbirds. So let's just get it started with the in-state rival, the affiliate of the Cardinals. And look, this is my favorite part about what Major League Baseball did post-COVID is putting the AAA, those teams kind of with the rivals of the parent club, which I just think is, you get the Cardinals affiliate, the Braves affiliate. I think the Yankees affiliate comes here this year as well, which is really cool because that's going to draw people.
Yeah, and the realignment, you're exactly right, Chase, on that. And we've been pushing to have the Yankees come back. The Yankees affiliate hasn't played against the Sounds in over 20 years. I don't know the exact number. It's going back to early AAA years for us. And of course, we were a Yankees affiliate early on. That was the teams with like Don Mattingly and Balboni and all them. But that's going to be a big draw. The Cubs come in. We've got the Reds. You said Cardinals, Braves. So basically, the teams that this region cheers for, you're going to get to see their up-and-comers play against the Sounds, which is great for us.
Yeah, and it's always fun, too, of, you kind of are paying attention to things and see who's on a rehab assignment or what have you, because you never know. That's the fun thing about AAA baseball. So it's always cool. Maybe Aaron Judge will, need to come down.
We'll cross our fingers on that. I mean, I hope for him it doesn't happen, but we wouldn't say no.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Doug, thanks so much. Thanks for having us today. We're really excited about another year of games on 94.9 The Fan, and the great Jeff Hem on the call. Those beautiful pipes.
We're lucky to have a pro like him. Thank you guys for being here. It's going to be a great season of baseball, and look forward to seeing you throughout the summer.
Yes,
Amen.
absolutely. We will be here quite a bit. That is Doug Scopel. He's the Assistant General Manager and Vice President of Operations of the Nashville Sounds. Opening night tonight. You can tickets available tonight?
Yes. NashvilleSounds.com.
Go to NashvilleSounds.com. Get tickets tonight or for the entire weekend. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe on a Friday. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hey, tune in tomorrow. Totally Hits 93.3 FM as the Nashville Cats take on the Albany Firebirds. Big Joe and yours truly, Chase McCabe, will be on the call. It could be a one and done. You never know, but just kidding. Pregame at 4:30, the kickoff at 5. Coverage is also available on the Totally Hits 93.3 app and totallyhitsnashville.com. So looking forward to that. Thank you to the Cats for this opportunity for us to be the radio team. And those asking, Eli Gold will still be doing the television, the streaming broadcast, along with our man Chris Sanders on Evergreen Now, which is a streaming service. So that's how you can watch and listen to Eli. But hopefully you'll check us out on 93.3 tomorrow.
Well done. And we'll have a lot of fun with it, Chase.
Real quick, Nick, you have a special guest coming up on your podcast, correct?
Indeed we do. Dax McCarty.
Okay. The former captain of Nashville SC, an original member of Nashville FC. So looking forward to hearing that conversation with Dax. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. That is presented by Jared Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards. They are the only company you need for commercial construction services. Just visit them at jarrettcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen, first on this, we have Children's Picture Book Day. So, Joe, if you don't mind grabbing a few of those from McKay's, appreciate it. Let's see. We have National Hot Tub Day.
Book.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Joe.
Yeah, that'd be good. National Hot Tub Day?
Yes, National Hot Tub Day. There you got that.
Nick.
Yes, sir.
Nick, is your podcast, is it called Talking Jello? What's it called?
All right, Joe.
No,
It's
promote
calcio.
your-
It's talking calcio.
Calcio.
Yep, that is the Italian word for soccer. So
Okay. All right. Got
okay.
it.
All right, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Next, we have Eat Eddie's Pie Day. So,
As I tell everybody, you should give away your pie for free.
yep. All right. Next is
Not making you
National
money, right?
Yeah, that's correct. National Black Forest Cake Day is next.
Yep.
That looks delicious. No homework today. That's nice. Respect Your Cat Day.
Amen on that.
Shout out to the Cats.
We have Weed Appreciation Day for those that like to, cut the grass outside or
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it means.
partake in other fun things. I don't know. And
I
the
love
last
you.
one on the list we have is National Something on a Stick Day.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
yeah, there are a
Like
lot of
a-
things you can find on a
Is
stick.
it like a shish kebab?
That, corn dogs,
Watch your mouth.
stuff like that. Joe, you should do the 9x9x9 thing challenge at the Sounds game tonight. That'd be great.
What is that?
It's like 9 beers and 9 hot dogs in 9 innings. You got to do all that. And
Oh, I call that a Monday night.
Yeah, I was about to say he could do that in his sleep.
Right. Is
that's
that
all-
it?
That's it.
All right. Time for celebrity birthdays. Got to get them within 2. Our first birthday, the great, the talented, the wonderful Reba McEntire. Today's her birthday. How old's Miss Reba?
I mean, we could probably ask Robbie's toddler. She would know. I'm going to say Reba, 64.
68.
70.
Really? Wow.
Within 2. She'll be here tonight, I'm told, right? Doesn't she do a little race with Johnny Cash and Pat Sajak and George Jones?
Yeah, I don't
whoever
think
they
it's
are?
actually her.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm mistaken then. That's bad.
It's
information.
her and Dolly. There's a Dolly Parton.
Vince. Oh, can Dolly run like that?
Well, she almost falls over. She's a little chesty, but
What in the world? It's a kid show.
Call it top heavy.
Oh my God! Stop. All right, moving on. Vince Vaughn. How old is Vince Vaughn today?
we'll miss everybody.
Right. Have a good weekend. Are we
Uh,
still doing Cats games?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Pogue's calling. 58.
63.
55.
Hmm.
Julia Stiles, the actress. She's
Uh,
on a great season of Dexter. Oh, so good.
47.
43.
44. Dr. Crane's up 2 nada on that right there. There we go. Okay, get the Peter going down here a little bit. Next up, Lady Gaga. Her first name is Stephanie. How old is Lady Gaga?
Stephanie. 38.
41.
39. Chase on the board. Nashville native, wonderful man, in a bunch of Hall of Fames, harmonica player Charlie McCoy.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. 68.
72.
84.
Oh.
The great actress Diane Wiest.
Where's she in?
She was in the movie Sisters. She's been a bunch of movies in the bunch of Woody Allen movies. She's very talented.
Okay. 77.
74.
79. We are tied at 2. Rapper Salt of Salt and Pepper.
56.
55.
59. Country singer Rodney Atkins.
47.
52.
56. Now, it says director Brett Ratner. Is he not Data?
No.
All right. Anyway, director Brett Ratner from Rush Hour.
Data is what you mean.
Data.
Yeah. 74.
80.
56. All right, sports birthdays now. Sorry. Rick Barry, the underhand free throw guy.
60.
71.
81. Bart Connor, former Olympic gold medal gymnast.
57.
52.
67. Byron Scott from Showtime, point guard.
65.
51.
64. Chase up 3-2. Chase's best friend, Jason Garrett,
Why is he my best friend?
former Cowboy coach.
Oh, yeah. Jason Garrett, 59.
61.
59 exactly. Chase knows his best friends. Elliot Perry was a point guard at the University of Memphis. He wore the goggles, played in the NBA for years.
Yeah. 62.
59.
56. Keith Kachuk.
Father of the Kachuk boys. I'm going to say he's 55.
57.
53. Chase up 6-2. Our final birthday. By the way, he raised those boys right just
Yes,
to
he
fight
did.
and defend America. Our last birthday, Luke Walton.
Son of the late, great Bill Walton.
Mhm.
Luke Walton is 44.
43.
45. Chaser ends the week winning 7-2. Good job, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful
done.
job.
Before we get to our message,
Yes.
I want to add something to our message.
Sure.
You know, because I had this conversation with someone. We all have probably been guilty of this, but so many people that we talk about on the show have been affected by suicide, right?
Correct.
Let's get rid of the, man, I'm having a bad day, I'm just going to jump off a cliff, I'm going to kill myself. Like, we get it's a joke, but think about the people that have truly been affected by this. And that's why we spend so much time on our message and talking mental health
Right.
and getting help and talking to people. I mean, again, we've all been guilty of it and know that it's not meant to be that way. But just remember, you never know who has been affected by suicide and mental health issues. So just keep that in mind as you go into the weekend.
Amen. When you ask somebody how you're doing, they're like, I'm all right. No, they're not. Know that they need to talk and you're there for them. So amen on that, Chaser. I'll tell you this right now. Every storm runs out of rain. So if you're going through something and like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. Every storm runs out of rain. The great Maya Angelou always said that every storm runs out of rain. So know that when you're going through something, and know there are people to help you on your cell phone. You can call or text 988. Somebody's always there to talk to you. We're always here to talk to you. We love talking to you guys to let you know that we love you. And I tell you, your journey is a beautiful journey. If something happened to you, you would be missed. That's why I want you to tell you that you are tremendously loved. We love you. More importantly, more than anything else, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD live at First Horizon Park. Coming up next, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.